Well, I kind of like feel nervous, which is kind of odd. But hello, my name is Steacy, as you could probably tell. And today we're going to be part of the typing process for LPS. Right now we're doing the free typing process. I may redo this for the actual efficient typing process, which would be interesting. So what we're going to be doing, oh, I don't know, why am I explaining this? Okay, so I'm just going to be going over your recommended questions, and I'm probably just going to like pop off and just talk about random things just because I can. Also because it is partially for my personality. Okay. Oh, okay. What is your typical day like, and what part of it do you look forward to? So I was already thinking about this question, and I think the first thing to say is that so I'm a university student right now studying physics, so this changes. So like in my typical day, it doesn't isn't concrete, but there are certain parts of it that I do think are like constant. Like obviously, I will eat breakfast. No, that's not obvious, but I will eat breakfast, and for a lot of my life, I've just been having a bowl of cereal. But it has changed just because of like nutritional reasons with like exercise and stuff like that. I started having oatmeal instead, which is easier to digest. So yeah, but casually, regularly for the most part, for like 15 years of my life, I instead have just been having a bowl of cereal, which is comforting and like well known. So I will do that. What else? Once again, it depends, right? So, sometimes I may be going for a run or I may like want to practice. Well, I'm practicing French. I'm developing the habit of it right now because I had it in the summer, but I lost it because of school. So now I need to redevelop it, and also because it's really important for the later part of my future. And I may explain that later. What else? Just like little things. What do I look forward to the most? Typically, like the things that come out on a weekly basis. So, for example, like shows or like the feeling after going on a. Why though? Hello? Wait, is it working? Just said that my speaker is now my AirPods, which makes absolutely no sense, even though it's saying here. Um, but yeah, no, it's typically the things that I can do within the day, and then the achievements of that are just the good feelings. It's just the small little things that make me happy. If I'm going to hang out with friends, it's typically more often that's like makes me the most happy is being around those that I love and care about and those that love me. Um, yeah. I mean, I could definitely like bring up a random question from this. I could see. However, I think it feels a little bit too forced. I don't want to like overly channel change. I feel very formal in during this interview right now. I can tell you. Just like to channel change right now, it just feels kind of like odd. And it's also later in the day, so the play energy isn't like high, 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 high up there. And my brain is probably just gonna get addicted to a savior for savior and then just do that too long and then ignore one of the demons. Okay, tell about your relationship with your parents, your siblings, and friends growing up currently. Who are the most people in your life? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna get into trauma because it's a fucking bother to talk about. But my relationship with my parents as a kid was that I looked down upon them a lot. That's primarily because they're OI. I'm not you'd probably tell throughout this, I'm going to channel change a shit ton. And I'm not OI, and they are. And because of that, they didn't put enough effort into really understanding me and trying to be the best for me. I also have ADHD, which heavily impacted my life, and it really heavily impacted their life. And it caused a lot of issues. And because of that, like it's complex. Like I feel like if my blast was more organized and I had thought this over more, I could explain it fully, but it takes a lot to really digest like what happened in my childhood. And it's just really a pain to explain in the first place. But right now it's actually quite healthy. And through OPS, I feel like I have understood my parents a shit ton more. And I've realized that my dad is my complete opposite. Not complete opposite. He's his one of his sexuals is the same as mine. and he's info dominant. I don't think I am. And so because of that, he's not my exact opposite. And so like I actually have started to look upwards towards him to be like, this is what I need to become as like I grow up as a person. Not like grow up as a person, but more like just like as I improve, right? Because right now, like my growth mindset is that I have this desire just to be better, outstandingly so. I wish I think I can say like it is a disgusting like vicious desire. It feels like I want to like step over everyone because I just want to be the best so selfishly. However, at the same time, I recognize that that's selfish and that's stupid, and therefore, because of that, I need to go back, and then I need to like I don't need to be back, but I realize that if I do become that person, that needs to be like managed or directed towards the others. An example, random like channel changing on this topic is that so because of my ADHD, I've been very lucky with it, and that I was very, really bad in the past. However, I got really lucky and I figured shit out. One of the biggest problems with ADHD is that it affects your amygdala and your hippocampus, I think it is. And because of that, the emotional game is really fucking tough. And 70% of people with ADHD suffer from depression, which I only know because I watched a video about that like shit, is it a week ago? 2 weeks ago? I don't fucking know. Hello? Either way, that's like crazy. And debatably, I did suffer from depression as a past as a kid. However, I don't suffer from it anymore. And to me, I think that's because I learned to play the emotional game. Um, Partially, that's because of another reason that you could probably figure out later. However, because I feel like I have this sense of entitlement to pass it towards the others that I see that are suffering through the things that I have suffered in the past or just similar issues. Because whenever I meet anybody with ADHD, it's just like their life is shit. Like, holy fuck, why are you suffering so much? Like, just, I wish I could just go over in there and be like, just stop. Just, I want to, like, just punch their brain and then just tell them, like, stop. The fucking chemicals, stop. Stop. But, like, it doesn't work like that. And I feel like I have this, like, sense of purpose that I need to, like, just tell them how to deal with it, even though I know by, like, blasting it to them, it's going to do nothing. While I may give them the actual like, hey, here's what you need to do. Are they gonna go in and put in the effort to do it? No, because I know that like I have the answers to my problem, but fuck, am I gonna do it? I mean, yeah, I'll try, but it's really difficult. And I know and I understand that for the others that because of that, like it's not gonna solve the issue right away. I wish if I could just tell them, hey, X is equal to Y, therefore they're done. But no. Which is really shitty because it makes me feel weird. Like it makes me feel like it's not like enough. Like I wish I could do more, but I can't do everything. Just there's a lot of things I need to do. So for like randomly, like I have to do the dishes after this, which I'm kind of fucking dreading because it's really monotonous and annoying, and I really, I don't know. It's like it's the small things that take little effort that really bother me. So to continue on about this, like what's interesting is that I can pump out my like 3 hour physics assignments, no problem, and I can do them and I can solve the problems and have fun, whatever. Um, by the way, it's not like TI solving the problems. It feels like it's more like just like read the book. Here's your equations. Here's how you do this. Let me figure it out. I can't fucking figure it out. Let me go online. I read some things. Blah blah blah. And then I eventually get the solution. I do the solution. I check the solution because I heavily doubt myself every single fucking equation, like occasion. That's the thing. I doubt myself and others. I doubt others more so. However, Like the thing is that the thing that I dread the most about the assignment is not actually handing it in, but it's just taking pictures of it and then scanning it. Fucking bothers me. I'll finish an assignment and be like, you know what? No, I won't do it. I won't do it. It takes like 5 minutes, but I won't do it. Just like, Eric, do it. But the brain is like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, do it. Just fucking do it. But I can't. That's another problem with having ADHD, is that there's a lot of things we wish we could do. There's things that we can do. It's just sometimes we can't. This stupid dumb thing is too strong. That mental voice of being like, you can't, like, no, I disallow of it, is like God level strength. He's fucking like out here, bro. I have this image in my mind right now of just this like mega jacked brain who's just like mega ESTP double masculine chat, like just beating the shit out of the fucking tribe. Because that's what it feels like, and I'm the tribe. Yeah, I don't know. It's like whatever. Have I answered the question? Absolutely not. Continuing back, so my dad is my opposite again, right? And because of that, like I've been pestering a lot just to like gather information and like figure out like, okay, like how can I become more like this without like becoming. So I don't think my dad is super growth mindset. So I want to become like, I want to steal his traits, but become more open and like I just want to be better than him, really. Like I'll say it up straight. I made a promise to myself as a kid, like really, or like when I was 13 or something. No, I was just gonna be better than my parents in every aspect. I would be better than them. I don't think I've done it yet, but I really hope I can. So it's really positive right now, and I'm trying to learn from it. But it was something. My sister, I only have one sister. She's older. It's difficult because so I went to a French school very early on as a kid. My ADHD was so bad that I got expelled. My sister went to that school and then went through all throughout like grade 12, and we were just really separated heavily as kids. And because of that, like I never really got to connect with her. And now that I have friends who are like very close with their siblings, I feel like this like sense of like shit, what the fuck? Like I envy it really because I wish that could happen, but it doesn't. I also seeing that my sister is struggling with things that like I think are really pathetic. I also feel like that's some sense of entitlement of helping her. And last year during COVID, I realized I can't. I have absolutely no power, which is a really humbling feeling, but also really hurts. Realizing that you really can't help those that you care about. It sucks. I don't feel particularly stuck on that fact, more just like stuck with the idea that like, why can't I? Why, like, why is it that I have to be like this? Don't put me in your like IJ Brock's fucking universe. I like, and then stop. But I can't, and it sucks. Yeah. There's a lot of things that like I accept very easily, and there's a lot of things that like I really don't want to accept for some reason. I think I'm just realizing that right now. So yeah. Who are the most important people in your life? So right now, my most important people in my life are it's probably my my probably my closest friend. Um yeah. Just because like there's a lot of like meaning behind it. But I think the most important thing is that she made me like realize that like I'm allowed to like someone, and that doesn't instantly mean that like they have to hate me and I'm a piece of trash. Yeah, it's sounds really weird, but it's because I misunderstood someone because they didn't look at my text and I thought they ghosted me. Long story, blah blah blah. I could explain it, but it's like, oh, blah blah blah. I like fell in love with a girl and I was in love with her for 4 years, and then oh my god, I had an addiction and I solved the addiction, and then after that, um, I realized I suck and I still suck. Everybody sucks. Fuck everyone. I can't do the double hangs. I can't do fucking Dave's like masculine FI. That shit's difficult. Um, but yeah, and then everything's difficult, blah blah blah. And then I was like, oh shit, I want to like get on a date with her, even though I don't like her anymore because I realized I can't be with her, and that hurts. What the frick, man? Life is happening. Why are things changing? Don't change. Stop. Um, and then yeah, and then I realized she's leaving the place that I know I seeing her at next week, and then oh fuck, and then I had to get her number, blah blah blah, and then we went on a date. Then we realized that oh fuck, we're probably both the same type. That kind of was weird. I don't think she didn't realize that I did. And then what the fuck? And then well, okay, I asked if she wants to hang out again, and so she said yeah, and then I texted her, and then she never saw the text. Ghosted. Then I emailed her a year and a half later, and then she emailed me back, and I was like, fuck, I got heartbroken for nothing. Yeah, good job, me. Retrospectively, it was a very good deal because getting heartbroken like that actually made me grow a lot, and it was very positive as a result. Because I hate like the feeling of like walking around in the middle of the pool and be like, I'm so mad. Like that sucks dick. That's gross. Can you imagine if like feelings sucked a dick? Okay, this is very odd. Okay, so if we like materialize the idea of a feeling, and we had like the male sexual organ, fucking excuse my language, excuse my who cares? So are we are recording this? Okay, cool. So like just the idea right now is that like this is so freaking absurd. We have this like materialized like anger emotion, um, and then you have a picture of me. Let's say this picture of me. This is very like physics hand wavy. This is how like physics lectures feel like to me. Um, and so you have this like materialized anger. Let's just like say it's like the anger guy from Inside Out, right? And so you have me over here, and it's like I hate you, blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't like the image of like oral intercourse. That's weird. It's like a taught. It's expression of speech, but it's like ugh, it's weird. I don't like it. Ugh. Man. I feel so bad for my friends. Like I can't believe they listen to me. It's actually absurd. Like what the hell? Okay. Um. Oh, so continue on to the people who were most important to me in the past. There's two people in particular because going back to my past, because my ADHD was so difficult that my parents like really didn't put in the effort to understand me. The two people who did, which so happened to be my grandma, who it's a secret in my family, but she loved me more than my mother and my father did, which means a lot. Like it means a lot to me because that's deep. You know, you love someone more than your own child. You love your grandchild more than your child. That's deep. Um, and like she put in the effort and she cared so much, and she showed that, and she showed how much she wanted me to be better. And the idea of like her seeing me now and being proud of me, it gives me this sense of peace and actually makes me eternally want to be better and to push on. Yeah. The other one is a counselor from a camp because I went to a camp for people with disabilities, mostly people with autism. I have ADHD once again, and that person also put in the effort to understand me and like just had this sense of like love and appreciation for me, which means also the world for me. And luckily, she's still alive, which is fucking great. Although she lives in Vancouver, and like that, like I adore her. Yeah. What are your past and present biggest struggles, and accomplishments? One of my biggest struggles in the past, lack of control. It's very weird to think about now, but as a kid, I had absolutely no control over my body, which sucks. No control. I had these like wants and I had intentions, but because I wasn't given enough attention as a kid, I needed more attention, and I would do whatever it would take. I never wanted to hurt my parents. I never wanted to hurt anybody, but I did, and I did it nonstop, and it sucked. Because every time I would hurt someone, I realized after I hurt them, I just hurt them, which is the worst feeling in the world because it makes you feel like trash, and I feel that a lot still because recently I just lost one of my best friends because I overstepped his boundaries and I never knew that I was overstepping his boundaries. And like it it makes me feel like a piece of trash because like I hurt the person, one of the people I care most about. Like, what's wrong with me? Like why would that happen? Like why would I do that? Like I'm so terrified of hurting people, but I don't do anything about it. I just continue on. I feel like I have no control over like myself at times. It, it's odd to explain because I don't think this is a decider issue. I think this is more of an observer issue with the idea that like I feel stuck with like the chemicals in my brain. I feel stuck with like just the actual control itself. And that's like it's odd and it's difficult and it's weird. It's difficult to process. And I guess that's probably one of my biggest struggles right now is just like dealing with the fact that I'm terrified to hurt people. And like I feel like I have no control of myself at times. One of the ways I describe it to my friends is that this is also just very random, but I've like sensory processing issues, and that's a very long topic, which I could probably talk about if I have time. Um, but it's difficult to process because I'm just saying words at this point. So I have sensory processing issues, right? And how I like to explain it is that it feels like my senses are like essentially it feels like I'm my normal state. It feels like I'm inebriated. So like that upper higher leveled sense for some and the lower like lower heightened sense that makes no sense. Like the lowered senses at certain like inebriations, it feels like that, and it's odd. And it's difficult to process as well. Sleep is a very difficult like process for me. It's not per se difficult. That's I take that back. It's more very unnerving and bothersome, and it takes a lot of time. Yeah. What are my biggest accomplishments in the past? Overcoming my issues. I got very lucky. That means a lot. And then this summer, I did a triathlon, and I said it was just some like silly, funny ideas, this silly, funny dream I could have done, and then I did the SD, and I did it. I can also peacock and say that I planned the entire thing. By the way, I planned both the route, the physical route, planned the physical like information that I need. I planned the physical like how I'm gonna do it. I did the organizing of like where everything needed to be, and then I had to get the people on board, which is the annoying part because sometimes they're really annoying to get like on board. But my parents were just like, okay, just tell us what to do, and it's like, oh my god, just like when they tell you, hey, just tell us what to do, like, mm, mm. It's great. It feels really good. Yeah, I don't feel like punchy enough. I don't want to like state what my self type is, which that's a very odd like jumping off question because like I don't want to say I'm part of the 2%, but there's a high likely chance I am part of the 2% because of like how I don't know, like I don't want to, it's cocky to say that I'm more self-aware, but like if a psychiatrist talked to me, they would probably say, yeah, you're more self-aware, which is true. So I guess maybe it isn't cocky, but I can this is such an abstract like explanation, but how I perceive it is that like there's three voices in my head, maybe even four. One of them is the one who's speaking to you right now. The second one is actually listening to myself and then being like, okay, like why are you saying that? Like where is this coming from? The third one is then fucking like in my subconscious, being like, okay, digging around. Here's the reasons. One of the reasons why I say he's in his subconscious is because psychiatrists also relate that people with ADHD are often we have this heightened sense of awareness and that we can actually peer into our subconscious. So I can often like tell you why like that demon state feels that way because I can identify like what's wrong, and that's very odd. Yeah. So I like, but in the past I used to peacock a lot, obviously, because we all do. But now that I feel like more self-aware and I have an understanding of the terms, I can identify like how do I feel right now? Like, does this suck? Because I'll tell you what sucks is communicating with people. Oh God, like just, uh, yeah. It's not even like the people themselves. It's more just like why can't I just like here's the information. Why can't I just like go like bleh, like this and then just give it to you? Why do I have to like verbally communicate it? Why can't I just transmit the information? Bothers me. Like it bothers me. Yeah. Um, what's most important to you? What are your priorities, people? I found salvation and like solutions to my issues because a lot of it had to deal with like hate because that's what dwelled up in me because of my past. And so my answer that I found was love. I can acknowledge it. I'm in a demon state right now. This feels very emotionally and powerful. And this is fucking feminine up, bro. But no, like just that the power of like humans and love and community and what's important, not FE community. Fuck that. What's important to us. I'm that's ignore that as well. Like just the idea that like for the sake of humanity, for the sake of love, push through because you value others, because it's important. And so I prioritize like being there for others and pride and just being genuine and just doing what I feel is right, which is difficult, obviously, because if we relate this back to the old topic of like feeling insecure and feeling I have no control over myself, it feels so conflicting, and that there's this like incongruence in that. Yeah, I feel like I should process this more on myself, but like obviously you could probably see the demon state within that like emotional like part right there. I would love to just like play it out and just like beat up the tribe and be like, haha, funny. Here's my emotions, ha ha ha, ha funny. But like I feel like this is more like serious. Yeah. Okay. What are your plans and goals for the futures? 1, 10, 5 years. Oh God, like okay, 10 years is like stop you right there. Okay. 1 year. So 1 year in the future, I'll be finished my third year of physics, which is very like wow, holy shit. Fuck, I need to like look for an internship. I don't want to fucking do that because it's scary. But I do need to do it because I need to get into grad school. Although the thing is that I know that I will get like my end goal, which I'll explain later, no matter what. Um, and then next year, I also want to be like practicing my French more. And then I'm also doing a 10K in like minus 30 weather. and then also a half marathon, and then I'm also going to be doing an Olympic triathlon, which is very exciting, but also very scary. Being like, holy shit, I'm doing that, because that's what it felt like last time when I was doing that triathlon this year. I was like, holy shit, I'm doing it. Wait, what? I'm doing it? And, during the middle of it, I was so like hyper focused and just like I'm like on a bike right now. I'm cycling, but I was like, oh my god, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm like shaking. I'm doing this. Whoa. It was like emotionally. It's not a word. It's not what I was trying to say. I'm just spitting out crap. It was like it was something. I don't have the word for it. Yeah. 5 years. I would like to have my master's by then. That'd be cool, but most likely not. I also want to have like done a half Ironman maybe, and then also an Olympic marathon, or just a marathon in general. That'd be cool. I want my French to be fluent, and then by then hopefully I can start Russian because I want to become fluent in Russian. The reason, by the way, like I want to do that is all because of like just be so cool to have like this resume that said I did my bachelor's in English, I did my master's in French, and then I did my PhD in Russian. Like that's like I'm hired. Anybody would hire me at that point, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If, I would think so because it's useful. I mean, like I have more like TE tools, right? Okay, whatever. 10 years. So I want to have my PhD, and then I want to start my postdoc. Hopefully, my Russian is close to fluent by then. 10 years is difficult to think about because there's going to be a lot going on, and I have no idea really what I'm going to accomplish. I just know that I'm going to accomplish a lot. And I think like that's what's important is just knowing that like I'm going to do it. I'm going to just become better and just more pal. Just really like, yeah. What's the biggest problem? What are the biggest problems in the world? I don't know. Actually, like I think it would take too much thinking to figure this out. I mean, like Trump is an issue. Why does he exist? Just like a lot of the United States pisses me off. I'm sorry. Not because they're all idiots, but there's because there's a lot of idiots and they have a very like loud voice. And it's just an info dominant. Weird. It's annoying. Like, can you just shut up and just die? Like you're irrelevant. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely not the biggest issue in the world. Just like that's like what comes to mind. If I were really to think what the biggest issue in the world is, I feel like an IP would say like hunger, pain, like people are suffering. I don't think that's it. It probably is like climate change because we're all just gonna kill ourselves. And I like number one, I feel like that's ironic, and I feel like that's how the human race should become extinct, is that we should be the cause of that, because that's funny. However, I think that's also kind of sad at the same time. I was much more active in like climate stuff as a kid, and in fact, I spoke at the UN. Fun fact. Um, however, like I don't feel like I have enough drive anymore to push for it because it's so mentally consuming and like exhausting to really just push for that like thing that's important to you. I really advocate that you should fight your fight, and I don't feel aligned and connected enough with like climate issues anymore that I feel like I should fight for it. Maybe because I'm personally selfish, and I also I don't know, kind of a horrible person. What annoys you, offends you, and gets you emotional, and why? What annoys me? Boring people, because they're boring. Surprising. Yeah. I don't really have anything to say about it. It's just like I don't know, the idea of play last is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you like you're just sitting there? It's like the SpongeBob meme, Like when he's with Patrick and he's like, we're nobody. Wait, who's talking to who? Oh, it's SpongeBob. Oh, Patrick, what is he doing? There's SpongeBob. He's sitting there. He's just sitting there mentally. Not mentally. Menacingly. Like it feels like that. Like you're just sitting there. Like I want to like chuck him and just throw him and like fucking do something. Like stop just sitting there. You're so like yeah. My dad's play last. What offends me? Nothing. I'm insensitive. That's another one of the problems of being like the whole insecurity about hurting people is I'm insensitive. Like I can make really like racist and inoffensive offensive jokes. And I do, which I need to stop, obviously. And I feel like maybe there's a sense of entitlement that like an IP would state or an EJ would state out there. However, like I don't feel personally connected to that at all. I don't really give a shit. Um, but like, yeah. What actually like offends me is the idea that like someone would hurt people I care about. That makes me really mad. Um, what gets me emotional? Holy crap. I'm so pathetic. I feel like people with like feminine feelings are very pathetic with this. Like I feel like if you talk to Shannon, it'd be very much like the same. Like you show her like anything with like, the string section goes into a minor, and then like just like, man, because I care about you. Like what? Oh, fuck it, I'm bawling. I'm not like bawling, but I'm like, like I just like it's kind of funny. Thank God nobody ever sees me when I'm like this, but it's so funny to me. Like that like second to third voice in my head that I was talking about in the past before is just like laughing his head off. Well, like maybe the first and the third are just like dying just emotionally because we're so like heavily into it. I remember randomly this one time I was watching the show called Prismalia, and it's like two like little girls and they're like super magical girls, whatever. And one of the little magical girls goes saves her friend, the other magical girl, and she's like, "I care about you because you're important." And it's just like normal music. I was fucking crying. Like this is the most like cliche shit in the world, and I was crying. And like internally, like I was like dying, like fucking laughing my ass off. Because it's just like, why are you crying? Like this is almost like wow. But I like being emotional. Um, that's probably more like a trauma related issue because it just feels comfortable. Yeah. What are your greatest worries, fears, and insecurities? What's the most stressful thing to you? What do I worry about the most? I mean, I could obviously say like I die, but I think if I really like search into my subconscious, it's probably that like I don't die. Like I die unsatisfied, which is gonna be very likely, which sucks. But like my bucket list is stupid. It's like you could probably tell like one function from it at least. And it's like just like looking at it is like, holy fuck, how are we gonna do this all? There's like 250 things in here, and each one of them is like fucking crazy. Um, and if I do them all, I'm gonna be like a god amongst men. But like just that sense of like not dying with closure, not like being able to die around people I love, like that really hurts me and scares me. Yeah. Fears and insecurity. We already talked about one's insecurity. Fears. I was processing this today, but like just the idea of like living a monotonous life. Like if I were to live the life of my father, I'd probably just like be like, yeah, you can just kill me. I'd rather not be alive. Don't put me in your IJ box. I don't want to be in your IJ box. Like the what Shannon and Dave say about options open is like very true, and it's scary. Like just like realizing like holy shit, I really do need that influx of new. And this is like randomly just random connected to me is that like I was really delving into my subconscious not that long ago in a very like odd demon state, and like I'm not going about demon state right now is that um like I realized that deep down like my saviors crave that like that options open that new, but deep down I know what like I really want is actually just stability because I feel like I'm just like a leaf in the wind. I fold a neck wrinkle when I move too much, and that's annoying. I wish I could just be stable and still like water, just flowing calmly, or maybe like a tree, and I'm not. And like that sucks. Especially my emotions are like that. Which really sucks because I like to just be in a like I wish I wasn't going through mood changes every 2 hours. Like it's just it needs to stop someday, I'd like to say. Obviously it won't. But I wish I could just live a comfortable and like predictable life. I guess like really processing that is realizing that I have no control. I have no control over myself. And that really sucks. That feeling that I have no control of myself. Yeah. It sucks. What's the most stressful thing to you? This is very much a flex, but I feel like I don't get stressed anymore. Last year, I had this very odd thing where I just all my insecurities of the past just disappeared. Obviously, we talked about that previous insecurity, which is now present, obviously, but now I actually don't feel like I have an insecurity. Like I don't get stressed because I know the exam is gonna happen and then I know it's gonna pass. What can I do about it? I have an exam on like Sunday, so what? But you know what is fucking annoying? It's at 7 p.m. Hello? It's at 7 p.m. and it's gonna like end at like 10. That's freaking annoying. And then I'm gonna have to fucking take pictures of it and upload it and then process it. I'm like, oh my god, this problem, that problem, okay, whatever, and then go to sleep. But the great thing is that after I go to sleep, I'm done for like this semester, which is so excited. Yeah. What do others like about you or complain about you? I have no fucking clue. This is very odd to process, but I feel absolutely clueless about how I'm perceived, which is odd. And I don't know if that's attributed to anything, but it's weird. And by the way, this isn't like any peacocking or anything. This is like really like I have no idea. Like recently, by the way, so random, but I found out that like apparently I'm a likable person. And I in the past I kind of knew I was likable, but apparently I'm a really likable person, which is odd. Like what? I mean, I can kind of like put the dots together and be like, okay, well maybe it's this reason, maybe it's this reason, but like why? I'm a piece of trash. I just fucking offended my friend and lost him. Why would anybody like me? Like I'm not like, and I'm not purposely trying to self-deprecate. I'm just like why? It bothers me that I feel like I don't understand. Oh God, maybe I'm fucking interval dominant. Weird, but like I feel like I don't understand. Which is weird. Yeah, it sucks. I can tell you about how like I feel about myself. I know and I'm confident in like who I am and like what I am. The first statement is false, by the way. I'm not confident in knowing who I am. I couldn't describe to you myself. I'm like my identity is very like, oh fuck, that thing is like, I tell my friends that like if I haven't told my friends, I just have this like mental like phrase in my mind is that like if you knew how to beat on my identity, oh yeah, it's all over. We're going back straight to square one. Um, when do you feel like things are going right? Probably like right now. Life's moving ahead. I don't feel like I'm horribly stuck like in the past. I don't feel burdened. And what I mean by that is like I don't feel like I'm just gonna hurt people all the time. I know I've said hurting people a lot. I think that's what I'm processing the most right now. It's mostly just the brain chemicals that like really gets to me. Is like why? Like why is it like this? Because I wish to be in control, but I know that I can't always be in control. I definitely have like a shit ton more control of my body than in the past, but whatever. Um, but I feel when things are going right is that like just I'm getting things done. Life is moving steadily, and I don't feel like I'm permanently stuck because I don't. These are like minor issues. Like these are like if you search about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like this is like higher on the needs. Like these are like issues you can only face after you get your like most important human needs out of the way. I feel like this is like the top of like self accentuation or whatever the hell the word is. Yeah. So I feel like it's going right now. Like it's just like this mode of life is correct. Give me a recap of last movie or book. Movie, sorry, book you read. Oh, I just watched The King on Netflix. That was interesting. Um, let's recap that. So The King is about King Henry V from England, and it starts with King Henry IV freaking out because he's doesn't trust anybody. I just got an email. And then he's like blah blah blah, and then this one guy is like, "I hate you," and he betrays him. And then King Henry V is a lazy guy. He goes and fricks off, and then he meets his father, and then his brother is going to go off and then fight the guy who betrayed him, and then King Henry V shows up, and then King Henry's like, no, screw you, I'm going to fight him, and if I fight him, nobody dies. If I win, nobody dies. And so he does that, blah blah blah. He fights him, he wins, and then his brother still gets killed because he's a fucking dumbass. What a dumbass! Holy shit, are you? You legit like just the amount of pride, because in the film he says, "This is my field. This was my field. This is my victory." But yeah, it's your victory. They got killed because you're so incompetent. But whatever. Either way, his father dies. He becomes a new king, and then he basically gets pressured into going to war with France. He fights France, and then he has this incredible victory. He loses his best friend, and then after that, he realizes that it was all a false, and that the people force him basically to go to France, and then he kills the guy, and he gets sad. Good film. Um, Timothy Chalamet has a chin. I think also pretty sure he's like NEFI, like Tom Holland is. Like you see him with Zendaya, and it's like Zendaya just seems like the NEFIs. I think. Whatever. That's beyond the point. What does authenticity mean to you, and how can someone access this? What the fuck? I've never thought about this in my life. Holy shit! I'm gonna search up what the definition of authenticity is. Wow, thank you, Google. Authenticity is the quality of being authentic. Fuck you. I wonder how many times it's the F word in this. Be very interesting. Authentic. Yeah, I love it when when authentic means to be authentic. Genuine, real. Okay, how can someone be genuine? That's a really deep question. Holy crap. I guess like knowing yourself is part of it, because if you don't like EJ's by nature are not going to be authentic. Like especially in FE, they're not going to be authentic because they're looking on the social spectrum and be like, hey, what's important to everybody else, and they're going to martyr themselves, which I don't value, and I think it's stupid, and I kind of dislike the FEs. Not like personally hatefully, I just think it's like offensive towards themselves, and that bothers me because I value humans and themselves. So when you're being mean to yourself, I disvalue that. But being authentic, it means like being your true self and knowing who you are. Yeah, staying true to yourself, staying loyal. I had a realization last year that when I want to go into a relationship, I just want to be one and done because I don't want to mess around. And thankfully, OPS is like show me like, okay, here's what you need to want, and I'm not going to say who I want, but like kind of where I am. But like I want to be one and done because I want to commit, and I want to be serious about that commitment because it means a lot. Commitment means a lot, and it's very difficult for someone like me to just commit in general. And the fact that I'm so like ready and just like so like I'm going to commit. even towards like things like triathlons and stuff like that. The reason, like the fact that I committed, like this is it, this is what I'm doing. Same with physics and stuff like that. That means a lot. The fact that like someone like me decided like I'm serious about this. A lot of people like me, they don't realize it and do stuff like that until they're like in their 30s. So yeah. What does it mean to you? I already said it means like being your true self and being like real to yourself. How can you access that? I mean, if you're DI, it's not that difficult because you just hone your identity and then you be true to yourself. You follow what's important to you. Don't like you can move yourself for the tribe, but do what you think is correct. Um, but for an EJ, it's particularly difficult. I think it's important that you follow like your EJs, like your EJ impulses, but like you still like you need to be in touch with your DI. And like you need to like acknowledge when you go into a situation is this even important? Like do I even really care? Because if you don't care, why the hell you're there? What are you doing? What are you like? Why are you wasting your life? Like you're hurting yourself. One thing that particularly bothers me, like going back to another random question, is that just like the idea of like seeing people just hurting themselves really bothers me because it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why can't you just like be yourself? Why like I'm just spitting shit because I'm pretty tired at this point, but just why can't you just be true to yourself and just like why are you hurting yourself? Stop. And maybe I'm projecting because I'm mad at my old self and I was hurting my old self. But like just be in touch. It's not that difficult, at least I don't think. So it's quite bothersome and hurtful to see that. What value do you bring into this world? No idea. No clue. Um, to be honest though, if I were to like, because I actually don't really know what truly I bring to this world. If I were to tell you what I want to bring to this world, it'd be like like positivity, optimism, and I want to push people. I want to push people to be better. You know, like Gary Vaynerchuk and friggin' Robin Williams style. I want to like masculine DE push people because it's important to me. I went through hell. I came out of that hell. I want people to get out of their hell and be better. Like going back, seeing people who aren't like growth mindset bothers me because you have no purpose of living anymore. You're useless. Why are you alive? Like you're actually like not contributing to anything unless you are, which if you are, that's fine. But like you need to be better because you can be better. The fact that you can be better means you need to be better. That's a very strong opinion, but it's true. Like, yeah, I feel very like strongly towards that. Like I think it's true. And I hold myself to that as well. Is that like the fact that I can be better, the fact that I can be like higher and I can help more people if I just become better means that I need to obtain that. I need to. What advice or life lessons would you give to the world? Um, fight your hell. Yeah. Get through it. Stop avoiding your problems. Stop running away. Stop being weak. Acknowledge your weakness. Yeah. What philosophy do you have towards life that people should have more of? I'm not a stoic. I don't know. I don't even know about philosophy anymore. I just live my life. Yeah. Okay, so we're done with the 14 questions. What should I talk about? I mean, I have like 15 minutes or something like that. I have this game called Super Auto Pets. It's really addictive. It's basically just like pet emojis and like just animal emojis, just like clashing heads. And just, whoa, it's really addictive. What else? I haven't processed languages in a while, so I guess I'll process languages. because I think it's interesting. And also because whenever I try to process languages, people are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. This is all interesting. Why the hell are you worrying about this? Because, like, I don't know. It's fucking, like, just, I never knew about this. This is, like, wild. So back in the summer when I was processing, like, continuing my practice of my French, because my French, like, I used to speak it as a kid. So I came in with, like, relatively, like good French, and I have a basis of knowledge, and I just, like, it's easier for me to integrate it. But what the hell am I talking about? Just like the way that like languages are formed. So like let's take like Latin for example. So I want to say Germany. That's not a language. Hello? Um German. I literally just said I want to say that, but it's not true. Um French, Spanish, Portuguese. Oh god, what's that place called? Romanian, um Italian, and a couple others are all Romance languages, right? So they all like originated from Latin. However, if you ever listen to someone in Romania speak compared to someone in France, the fuck? Like they're not similar at all. Obviously, this takes place over like thousands of hundreds of thousands of years. Yes, that's true. But like still, like the idea that like Latin evolved into that is mind-boggling. Like just how do we go to A to B? Like what? I mean, like, but like looking at it now, maybe you can understand that, like, okay, maybe like 10,000 years, English will be completely different. Because if we just look at like slang, what if our slang words become like words themselves and like actually engrave themselves into the language? In fact, what if like English evolves into like different languages like Latin did? Think about that. Holy shit, that's fucking crazy. That's like a just new idea popped up in my head. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That'd be so weird. Can you imagine me like, oh yeah, I speak American. Like obviously that's a joke now, being like, oh, you speak American, haha. But like imagine if you like speak American versus you speak like English. What? Like what? Hello? Like that's weird. It's very odd to process. Oh, what else? Just like translational differences as well. Like the fact that you can't like say certain things in this like the same way as your language is like odd because you would think that like all languages are just the same, but just different words. But no, expression is so much different, and that's like very interesting. I've also heard a lot of things that like people's personality change when they speak a different language, which is crazy, and it says a lot. Yeah, I wish I could talk to a linguist about this because it's like a really interesting to process this. Um, what else? I hate my brain chemicals. I don't hate them. That's not true. Just like the way that they function bothers me and like it very much confuses me. It's very odd. Yeah. Let's go pick up something. Oh god, I haven't like looked at this in forever. Woo! This is a randomly printed out fluid dynamics textbook. Elementary fluid dynamics. They're pretty drawings. Or they're not pretty drawings, they're just fucking outlining. Wow. This gets low. Oh, you know what? You know what bothers me about this textbook? Let me find it. Oh, it looks really good. Can't read it. Nobody's understand this, but like whatever. So, a bunch of basic equations. I could probably explain like what this all means in a second. So this symbol right here. Let's see if we can see that. This is the one that has like the equal sign and the two dots above it. I have no idea what that means. No idea, because it's a completely different notation compared to like what we normally use, and that bothers me. Hello? Like I searched so much online just looking for this fucking symbol and I couldn't find it. And it's like, why? Why do you exist? Why'd you do this, man? Why did this friggin' what's his name? Axton, why did you do this? Hello? Why are you personally attacking me? You're hurting my feelings. Oh my god. Okay, let's talk about fluid dynamics. So math is interesting, obviously, because I'm in physics and I like it. My feelings like it. So yeah. But like fluid dynamics to me is like mind-boggling. You know what? Screw it. Let me pick up my computer. We're gonna show why it's mind-boggling right now. I don't want to take you into my bathroom because that's kind of weird. I'm in my apartment, by the way. Okay, so this is a sink. Here's my dishes I have to do. Can you see that? Okay. That was very loud. So like the thing that bothers me is that if you can see the sink right there, right? It's just that like so the idea that you can write a mathematical equation, however messy it is, and that you can probably like actually perfectly predict the motion of that water on the sink, that fucking makes my head spin. Like that's just like crazy, and that's why I like physics really, because it just makes my head spin. And particularly what I want to study in physics is called plasma physics. The details last. Wow! Oh my god! You just mentioned this probably the entire like hour or so, or whatever, and you just never mentioned what you want to say. Oh my god! Wow! Crazy, Eric. And one of the things with plasma physics, by the way, a plasma is basically a gas where you strip off an electron, so it's free, and so this gas can conduct electricity. And gas is a fluid, right? So if you have a gas that also conducts electricity, that means that it's new, and because of this, we have to create a new model of physics, which is called magnetohydrodynamics, which essentially compiles electricity and magnetism with fluid dynamics. Which, going back to fluid dynamics, if you understand how complicated that all is, fluid dynamics is really complicated. Like there's a lot of things in fluid dynamics that we just can't do because it's like physically impossible because we just don't have strong enough computers. And processing that is like wow, which is exactly why I want to go into it because it's crazy. Yeah. Did you know that the like an atom is like 30 million degrees Kelvin or something like that? I don't think that. No. So the thing I think I read was screw me if I can tell you the right temperature. I'm not going to say that. I don't freaking know facts. Hello? How do you memorize facts? Why would you go into biology? Frick memorization. But no, essentially what happens is that like the energy inside of the electron, when it collides with something, I completely forget. Basically, like electrons themselves, just like atoms are hot. And I'm thinking it's correct, is that when it impacts you, like the actual like temperature of an electron is like thousands of degrees. But the only reason why it doesn't feel hot is because like it's tiny and it's irrelevant. So it doesn't really have any like crazy impact on you. And the empty space it fills is just like it's just normal room temperature. One of my eyes is lazy, eh? I probably should go to bed maybe later. I mean, it's only like 8:11, so yeah. I have 3 more minutes before I hang up, which is interesting. What else can we talk about? I don't know. Hopefully you have a good idea what my personality type is. Going back, we said like I thought it was gonna be part of the 2%, and I guess I can just quickly briefly mention that. I won't directly state what my personality type is, but I gave a lot of hints and clues here to what I think it is. My modalities are the rarest. That's like if you really look for it, it's very evident. Also like what my lead function is pretty evident as well. Hopefully, playing the him me game is going back and forth, beating up the tribe, and then being in myself. Yeah, that should be pretty obvious. But the reason why I say it's most likely that I'm part of the 3% or 2% is that, like, you can see that self-awareness within this video. It's just too obvious to me. Like, when I sit down and just like watch YouTube videos, it's not because I don't want to update my worldview. I'm looking to like check it. It's because it's like I have this unending desire just to consume more. I just want more. And obviously I need to discipline that out of me. And then just like the processing and of giving information to others, it's in such a demon and like angry state to me. That's obviously a demon. Um and then just like learning that I played the emotional game. That's so obvious that like I learned to do that because I had to. That like that must be a savior. Although you can see in those emotional moments that that's in a demon state, correct? And that means that like that sleep process is also a demon. Wow. And so like through that like obviousness, so I can just see it because it just I can feel it and just presence it. It's all obvious to me. Although I was just thinking today, I'd love to be like T, not like lead T, but just have like saver T. That'd be pretty cool. I don't think I do. I definitely don't. But yeah, it would be cool. This is a fun hour. Wow. I don't think I want to like do this again, but yeah, it was really fun. Thank you for posting these questions, I guess. Um, hopefully eventually will type me. I don't know how long this process will take, but yeah, this is a really fun thing to do, and it was a pleasure. Um, I had a lot of fun just playing with myself, I guess. Just processing this. This is kind of what I need to do instead of just sitting at a freaking swing at 12 at night. Okay, thank you once again. I'm Eric. I'll see you probably not later. Hopefully you guys get my type right, or you feel confident in it. As long as you feel confident, that's good. Thank you. Yeah.